Hey everyone, this is Alex Gonzalez. I have a podcast called The Gonzo Tonight Show. I'm very politically active and I am a Trump supporter. And I'm answering some questions today about Trump and the US election over here. And the first question that we have here is why did I vote for Trump / why do I support Trump? And I supported Trump in 2016 when he first ran. I wasn't old enough to vote, but I supported him because the first thing that stood out to me was he was not like all the other politicians, quite obviously. He's a little rough around the edges, yeah. Very loud, robust. But importantly, he is not able to be bought by the lobbyists and special interests. His interests are his own, and I believe personally that his interest is for America. And he ran on promises to bring America back to a time of economic prosperity and safety. In the last 4 years that he's been president, he has given America the lowest unemployment rate for all Americans, white, Hispanic, black, Asian, the lowest taxes in a very long time, tons of job opportunities. He led the war on terror, defeated ISIS. ISIS is no more. And he helped secure the southern border. He's making sure that people come into our country legally. Just like every other country, you need to have borders, you need to have security. We need to know who's coming in here. And he's brought peace to the Middle East with countries like Israel and such. 3 peace treaties have been done. He's been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes recently. He's leading a task force as we speak and has already found thousands of missing children that were sex trafficked or kidnapped, and he has done thousands more arrests on the sex traffickers and the kidnappers who have taken these children. And there's so many other things that he's done in the past 4 years, and he's done more than most politicians nowadays who've been in politics all their lives. Next question we have is what I think about abortion. And I personally do not agree with abortion. I believe that at the moment of conception, the fetus is considered life. And I don't agree with women wanting to kill an unborn baby out of convenience. I don't think that's right or ethical. And if it's done in with the mother's health in mind, like for the sake of the mother's health, if the health is at risk, then that may be an exception, but I know that this is quite rare. So I would say overall I don't agree with it. Number 3, what do I think about Trump's sexist statements, and what do I think about feminism? And first of all, about feminism, I think overall it's a great thing. I think that we need to make sure men and women around the world are treated equally, viewed as equally, and more importantly are equal under the eyes of the law. In our country, in America, however, men and women are completely equal under the eyes of the law. There's no question about it. They have the same job opportunities, both men and women. Both men and women can serve our country, and they make the same amount of wages. Despite what you might hear, the wage gap in America is not actually real. It is illegal to pay a man more than a woman for the same position, and the data you may see on the wage gap is manipulated. You have to go look at it. Most men are more likely to have higher paying jobs, and they're likely to work more than women. So that's where the numbers you might be seeing, men make more than women. But if you have a man and a woman of the same exact job, you cannot give the man or the woman more, so they're paid equally. Regarding Trump's remarks in the past, his sexist statements that he has made, I personally don't take it too personally, mainly because I'm not a woman. Of course, I do sympathize with people who are offended by those remarks. They aren't genuinely like, I understand that, but when it comes to who I'm voting for someone who is able to get the job done, despite if he's being, rude and mean and all that stuff. It doesn't really matter to me as much as long as he is able to do what he promised to do. and make this country better. Now, number 4, do I wear masks? I live in a county and in a city that's pretty COVID safe, I would say. We don't really wear masks as much as other places do. 99% of the time, I don't wear a mask. Just like how the survival rate of COVID patients is over 99%. 0.004% of COVID patients die. It's very, very little. And it's just like any other virus. The masks might help a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a total waste of time, because the only real way you could fight a virus like this is to have a strong immune system. We should be teaching people to build their immune system, to go outside, get some sun, eat healthy foods, build your immune system. Because when people wear masks all the time and when they're hiding inside, they'll come out eventually, try to live normal life, but they'll just be, getting sick all over the place. Common cold, not necessarily COVID, but just common sicknesses, common viruses, and that would increase your health risk overall. Number 5, what do I think about the Black Lives Matter movement? When the movement first became popular in 2020, I agreed with the overall message, of course. Bad police need to be taken out of the police force, and police overall need to have better training, longer training. It just needs to be fixed. However, shortly after, when the movement was infiltrated by Antifa and became an army of looters and rioters, I completely disavowed the movement. I believe that they don't actually care about Black lives. Despite the name Black Lives Matter, I think it's all not true. If they really cared about Black lives, why would they be going around destroying Black-owned businesses? They're not about what they say they are. It's a puppet for the Democratic Party. That's my personal opinion. Number 6, what do I think about Trump's tax scandal? That he paid less taxes than the general public. And there's actually confusion about that. Because regarding his taxes, and a lot of wealthy people do this, they will prepay their taxes. What this means is that they'll give the IRS, X amount of dollars in taxes ahead of time, so that way, when the time comes to file their taxes, they don't actually have to pay any because they already paid it. So the truth of the matter is, Trump paid the IRS millions of dollars in taxes before already. So when his taxes were due, he didn't have to pay anything because he already paid it. So the $750 that they talk about was actually his filing fee. It was the fee to file his taxes. So he actually is paying and has paid his fair share of taxes. And I know that once he releases his tax returns, we should be able to see that. And they will be released. Lastly, number 7, what are your thoughts on Trump's most recent statements that he is the president who did most for the Black community? I do believe that Trump has done a lot for the Black community here in America. He has always, before he was president, donated millions of dollars to the Black community in general, has donated millions of dollars to Black colleges, and he still does to this day. His most recent policies regarding prison reform have given many minorities, not just Blacks, but many minorities, a second chance in society. He's also done so much for the Black community economically, regarding taxes, job opportunities, and such. There's a lot of stuff you can find that Trump has done for not just the Black community, but all Americans. I think that another 4 years of Trump would do this country great. And I think that once all this mess is gone, once the election is over, once his 4 more years are over, history will view him as one of the great presidents once all the smoke clears. But I thank you guys for having me.